my channel. I am still here giving tips for beginners to learn Golang, right? Golang for beginners. And today's tip we'll be talking about algorithms because algorithms it's actually very fundamental when you are learning how to when you're a beginner, not just for beginners, for also experienced hands. You need to sharpen your thinking skills. You need to be able to solve problems, and that's where algorithm comes in. Especially as a backend engineer, you'll be given lots of case study, how to log in, what to do with a user, what how to query a user, and you can't think about possible solutions if you are not sound with algorithms. And furthermore, every in most interviews that you are going to take is going to involve algorithms. You're going to have to solve one or two algorithms. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. So let's start with algorithms, right? There are numerous websites out there that you can learn from. You can actually learn algorithms from. So it's really not a big deal. But we have Lead Code, we have Code Wars, we have my favorite not my favorite just what I'm used to is Hackerrank. I'm used to Hackerrank anyways. So I'll probably just take you through Hackerrank and maybe we signed up and see where that goes, where we go from there, right? So I'm already it's just hackerrank.com. There's really nothing to it. Hackerrank.com. Sign up. I'm here to practice and prepare. Create an account. Right. Let's just put your name. I'm gonna use my Yahoo mail. Maybe choose a password. Agree to terms and condition. Sign up. Hey Joseph. So maybe save. Yeah, whatever. So you see, um yet to learn and compete with others or preparing for a job interview. Most likely, I'm sure everybody coming to take you're most likely yet to prepare for a job interview or whatever. So students, working professional. Let's just say most of the people using my tutorials are students. Can just say I'll graduate. Whatever this and whatever you choose, it's it's your business anyways. It's really your business. So you can click this, you can select it. Really, I'm just showing you that this is really easy to get started. Turn on dark mode or whatever, whatever. Just you can just let that go for now, and then you select. No, we're not go straight to algorithms, right? Now you're probably gonna see solve me first. Why I like algorithms is that it starts from the easy ones and go down to the hard ones. So it gives you the easy ones so that the more easy one you solve, you become comfortable with yourself. So you can see solve me first, and you can see it's actually easy though. So once you just click on solve me first, right? Now, one thing you should take note, the language here is actually C++. That's not the language we're working in. We are going to probably be working with Go. This is um this is Go for beginners anyways, right? So where do we start from? Obviously, you read the question. Like I said, algorithm is just there to help you with your thinking, help you know how to solve issues or problems that you might encounter while building applications, right? For example, this is they said complete the function solve me first to compute the sum of two integers. This should be easy. Just you're just looking for one adding two integers. They've given you example a is equals to 7, b is equals to 3. Supposed to just return 10, right? You can go ahead and read the description. In fact, I suggest you go ahead and read the description, see the sample input, see the constraint. The constraint is telling you that a and b can be is going to be from 1 to 1,000, nothing more than that. Nothing. It's not going to be lower than one. It's not going to be more than 1,000. So you read the constraints, right? You see, you probably see that A is 2, B is no. You probably see A and B is going to be integer. This is just example. You can see sample here. Sample input A2, B3 is meant to give you 5. I've explained it here. 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. Really, there's really nothing to it, right? There's actually really nothing to it. So what you do here is you said solve here. All you have to do is find a way to return. Like if you're not familiar with functions, I've covered functions before in my um in my previous video. So here is just a matter of this is a function, the signature of this function, solve me first, right? What this tells you is that it takes in A and B, both of uint 32, uint 32, like you see A and B here at the sample input. It takes it A and B, and it's also returning. It's also expected to return a uint 32 here. So your answer should be a uint 32. So usually for good practice, you could just maybe I've taught this before. You can just initialize maybe var answer, and then make it a uint 32. Make it a uint 32, and then just for the sake of knowing that your answer is going to be uint 32, you can just return answer. So, and then what you're going to do is that you solve the addition here and save it as answer. So that's the issue. That's the easy thing. You solve whatever you want to solve here, save it as answer, and then you're returning answer. So you can see you're returning uint 32. So that's it. So that's the hack I usually go with, right? So you would then go answer is equals to, because this answer is like a container, it's uint 32, so it's whatever is going to hold is going to be uint 32. Answer is equals to A plus B. A plus B. So it's as easy as that. And this answer is equals to this A plus this B. That's we're going to give the answer. So you just return the answer here. So that's all. So now if you click submit here, hope you can see the button, submit button here. You can see all the test cases that passed. You can see congratulations, you can go to the next challenge. Yeah, one more thing, we ought to run this code. Usually you can actually run your code to actually see if you actually pass the test case. So if you pass the test case here, you can see the test case they have. Then you can always click submit, and once you click submit, then successful. Once that is successful, you can go to the next challenge. It's actually that easy, right? So what this helps is that it builds your confidence. Once you can solve one, you understand one question, you solve one, you should be going to the next question, right? And then try to build your confidence, your morale when it comes to solving these issues. So like for example, and don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. Your next task is going to be a little bit harder than the first one. Your next task is going to be a little bit harder than the previous one. So all you have to do is keep going, and you can get to somewhere that you don't know how to continue. You can always reach out to someone for help, or Google answers. There are so many websites you can Google the answers. But the idea is try and understand the answer, because this works. This helps your logic. This helps your thinking. So now let's go. So this the next question says, like, you start example said given an array of integers, find the sum of the elements. So this is and I've given you an example here. Always try to read your answers, the questions. Said for example, if the array A is 1, 2, 3, so the answer should be 6. That's 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6. It gives you function description, complete the array function in editor below this editor here. This is the function. So this way the function is where you're always gonna implement your code. You can see write your code here. You see the constraints. You can always take a look at the constraints before you start. So and then you can check out the sample what do you call it, sample input for this is going to give you an array like this, probably 1 2 3 4 10 11. This is an array, six array containing 6 items, 1 2 3 4 5 6 items. So if you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 10 plus 11, you ought to get 31, right? This is the explanation. The 1 plus 2 plus 3, you're going to have 31. So how do you solve that? I also know in my previous video, when I was talking about functions, I think we're talking about what do you call it, data types. I talked about strings, integers. I talked about arrays and slices. So you can check that out on how to deal with this type of problem, right? So for example, we just like you can see, this is the function signature is taking in an array of int of int 32, right? So this sometimes I know, like, if you're a newcomer, right, you might feel more comfortable solving it in your IDE than solving it here directly. So you can always copy this. You can copy this, switch to your IDE, and paste that, right? Just so what so you're working with this, right? So with this, you can tell yourself, like, what's where are you gonna run the code? You're gonna run the code in func main. You're just gonna test the code here before you transfer it down to wherever you transfer it back to Hackerrank, right? So what you what is an array, right? Array of uint 32. So you might want to just have a sample array that you can actually use to test the code, right? So you can have maybe array is if of uint 32. I'm sure you already know how to initialize an array and slice. So if you don't, please check my previous video. So you can just have, like, maybe an array of anything. For example, let's just have this 1 2 3 4 10 11, right? Just have 1 2 3 4 10 11. So, and then how do we test this function? Although we haven't written anything here yet, right? We can just return, all right? Let's just return. Let's just say you're expecting like I said, you can always have a var answer is equals to, is it a uint or int 32? Let's see the sample. Yes, int 32. Sorry, not uint. So make sure that they are the same type, data type, because you're expecting a int 32 here, not a uint. Please take that. So, and you're expecting int 32 answer. So that's an int 32. So all you have to do is maybe return answer. Right now it's empty. So right now, whatever. So now you can always just, for you to test this, so you can always check call this function here to test it, pass in an array here, and then just log this the a answer is equals to, and then you log the answer here, log.println. So log.println answer equals to answer, right? So let's just run this. Go run main.go. So you can see 0 because obviously you're not doing anything. Once you initialize a variable, it's going to automatically take the negative value, like the least, not the least value. For example, now the least value is of year is zero, of numbers 0. If it was a string, it's going to be an empty string. If it was a boolean, it's going to take false or something like that. So now you can easily test what you're going to do, right? So now if let's assume this array is going to come into this function the same way that this array, we're feeding this array into this function here, which is what we are saying here. So how do you range through this array and keep adding it? So it's easy. Just for, like I said, you can go through. I think I explained this in depth in my previous video, so you can check that out. I'll just run through it here. So for index, for this index equals to 0. For index equals to 0, length. Maybe I'll explain it a bit. Length of the array. For index equals to 0, index less than the length of the array, and then we go to I plus plus, then that's it. So whatever you're doing. So now what let me explain this for you, right? You're trying to look through whatever is here, right? So what you're saying is that you're starting from index 0. In programming, in computer, whenever you start counting something, you start from 0. For example, here in this array, you're going to have here 0. You're going to start index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not going to start from 0. You're not going to start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to start from index 0. So let me just have it here. You're starting from, sorry, starting from index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what you're saying here. You're starting from index 0. That means you're starting from the first element, index 0, and then you check here if the index is less than the length of this whatever is passed through, the length of this array. This is an array being passed through. So now the length of this array is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually 6, because this array is containing 6 items. So don't get confused. When you're starting to count the index is starting from 0, but the length of the array you count normally from 1 to whatever the number of items it contains. So right now, so what you're saying is, what we are writing here is that initially I is going to be 0, because I is starting from 0, and initially the length of array is going to be 6, because that's the length of array. And then so what you're doing is, if when for example I starts from 0, if the I which is 0 is less than the length of array, this is less than the length of array, that means yes, 0 is less than the length of the array. You do whatever you want to do here. After doing whatever you want to do here, you now increase, you do I plus plus. So when you're doing I plus plus, so what you're doing with I plus plus is like you're adding 1. Is I plus plus is like the same as saying I plus 1. This kind of like what it means is like same you're saying I plus 1, right? Let's go back to I plus plus. So I plus plus, like you're adding 1 to I again. So now if you are coming, so after you do after you check, is it less than the array, and it's not, and this passes, you do whatever here, and then after doing whatever, you come here to check, and then you come here and then you go to the next I plus plus. That's the next I. Then the next I here is going to be 1, and you now check, is 1 less than 6? Yes. Do whatever you want to do, and then go to the I plus plus, and which I plus plus is going to be 2. Is 2, then you come here again, is 2 less, it's going to come here, is 2 less than 6? Yes. 2 is less than 6, so it's going to do whatever here. Then I plus plus comes to 3, comes to the same 4, then comes to 5. When it does it to 5, is 5 comes here, 5 less than 6? Yes. Do whatever you want to do there. Now do I plus plus. When it does I plus plus to 6, then it now goes I is equal to 6. Is 6 less than 6, which is array, no, so it's going to stop, and that's going to be the end of the function. That's going to be the end of the loop. This is called a loop. This all this is called a loop. I think I have explained this in my previous video. This is called a loop. So with that in mind, let's solve. With that in mind, let us go ahead to solve the simple array. So what we are doing here is when you for you to solve this array is going to be just this plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this. That's all. So now if you notice, when we printed the answer out here, we got 0. That means here is actually 0. Yes, automatically 0, right? Once you initialize something, I explained that to you before. So what you're going to do is that once the index is 0, which is 1, the index is 0, which is 1 right now. Index of 0 is actually 1. Is going to now, so now you're now going to add that that value to what you have. So you're going to have like answer. This answer is equals to answer plus what do you call it, array of I. So this is all you need, right? This is all you need. So now let me explain this to you. We know that this answer is 0, right? For the first time, right? The index is 0, which is actually 1. The index of 0 is 1, right? We're working with 1 here. You take 1. So is the index 0 actually less than the length of the array, which is 6? And the answer is yes. So what are you going to do here? So you want to add to answer what is actually at that index 0. So now so now we all know that I is 0. So you're saying array I. That means you're saying whatever is in that index of I, which is 1. It's like saying, so you can easily just change this to 0, right? Change that to 0 and you'll get. So let's just quickly do a let me quickly show you here. I'm going to comment this out. I'm going to just comment this out, right? And then I'm going to print log dot. I'm going to log print line array at index. This array at index 0. And then I'm going to do the same. Like I said, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do the same at index 5. So you can see so you can visualize what we're talking about here, right? So if you run this program, you can see index 0, which is index 0 is 1, and index of 5. Index of 5 is 11. This 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 11. So that's what. So back to our explanation. We can always remove this now. Back to our explanation. So for example, you take the first index of 0. You compare if the index of 0 is less than the length of this array that is being passed through here, which you might not know the length. For the example of this array that we are using here, it's actually length 6. If it's not, you do whatever. What you want to do is you want to add. Imagine this this answer is starting from 0, so you are going to do this answer as a container is equals to this answer, which is 0. You're going to say this answer is equals to this container, which right now is actually 0, because it's starting from 0. 0 plus the value at that index of array. For the first one is 1. So you're going to have the answer is equals to 0 plus 1, which is equals to 1. And then it's going to loop again when I is now equals to, when I has moved from 0 to 1, index 1, it's going to now check its index 1 less than 6, which is the length of the array, is going to be yes. And then it now comes, now the answer is going to be this answer, which is now 1, plus the array at that index, which is index 1, and index 1 is what? 2. So it's going to have 1 plus 2, which is going to be 3. The answer is now going to be 3. And then after doing whatever you're doing here, you're now going to go to I plus plus, go to the next I index. The index is going to now, from index 1, you're moving to index 2, right? Let me take this out. I don't know. From index 1, you're moving to index 2, which is 3. Index 2 is 3. So if you're so now it's going to be is 3 less than 6? Yes, of course. 3 is less than the length, which is 6. And you're going to do now keep in mind that this answer is already 1 plus 2, which is 3. So now you're going to have answer. You're going to be answer is goes again that answer, which is 3 plus the index of that array, which is going to be 3. Index 2 is going to be 3. So that's how yeah, it's just a matter of you thinking it through one after the other. So from there, so actually from there, let's just run this answer. That's all you need to do, right? That's basically all you need to do. So what this is saying, so after this loops everything, right, and puts, it's going to make everything the answer, because you just keep looping until the end. Whenever the loop passes the is equals to, is normal, whenever I is normal length of the array, is going to stop and then return the answer whatever you have here. So if you have this, so if you run this, you're going to see 31. Yeah, the answer is equals to 31, which is basically the answer that was given here, 31. So now that's how you test on your code base, and then you can easily just, you can easily just copy this and paste here, run your code, copy this, paste it here, run your code. Congratulations. And then you can submit it. Voila. It's going to test so many things. Then you can go to the next challenge once you are done. So I've solved the first two ones for you. So you can actually just go to the next challenge. Once you go to the next challenge, it's going to come up with the next challenge. So you can always read this campaign triplets, read it out, try and solve it on yourself by yourself. If you can't, just send me a message, drop a comment, and we will solve this for you, right? So please take your algorithm seriously, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you.